Welcome in. We got a jam-packed show for you today. Welcome to the Farzy Show. My name is Mark Farzetta. It's a little program I like to call the Farzy Show. Just so you know, PJ's back, so I'm not pushing buttons. Thank God. Thank God, PJ, you're back. I was considering having a PJ on to start the show, just to be like, hey, everybody, he's okay. And then I said, hey, PJ, how you feeling? He's like, I'm like, okay, maybe I won't have him start the show. I'll let the man recover in peace. Anyway, welcome to the Farzy Show. I did pre-read the This Day in History for today. It's not as bad. I mean, someone still dies. But anyway, why? I feel like it's not too soon. All right, 1929. Wyatt Earp died. I never put it. I'm always admit he died in Los Angeles. Like that's something. I just like Wyatt Earp in L.A. Like that's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be in Dodge City. Wyatt Earp passed away on this day in history in 1929. And this brings me to probably my most controversial take ever. Wyatt Earp better than Tombstone. Yeah, I said it, and I won't apologize for it. So how about that? Yeah. Now that's a piping hot take, from what I understand. That's a take that people aren't ready for. But you can't tell me what I like. You can't tell me what I like. A guy asked me yesterday, "Hey, do you?" I'm serious. This actually happened. And when I was doing the Wings event over the weekend, yesterday, a guy comes up to me and goes, "Hey, do you put ketchup on a hot dog?" Like one of them things. And I go, "I put mustard, relish, ketchup, onion, pickle, poppy seed bun, hot pepper." On my hot dog, and I'll eat it however I damn well please. That's right. That's right. That's another controversial take people aren't ready for. Just so you know. Hey, Eric Emmanuel, Erock joins the show today. I needed the fans' perspective. I wanted the fans' perspective on who you wanted to see the Eagles face coming up here in the divisional round of the playoffs. Wildcard round, of course, getting underway this weekend. And then you got the divisional round with the Eagles with, I guess, as close to healthy Jalen Hurts. We'll get to that as he offered an update yesterday on his health. Somewhat, I guess we could call it, somewhat offered an update on his health yesterday. And then we also have the 76ers. Oh, my goodness gracious, folks. Like, you never want to see a team that you think has championship aspirations play as badly as they did in the third quarter of that game yesterday. You never want to see that team surrender a 34-12 run, I believe it was. You never want to see that happen, and you especially never want to see that happen to a sub-500 team like the Oklahoma City Thunder. But that's exactly what happened last night. And it was one of those games where Doc comes out after the game and he just goes, our effort was trash. Basically, that's what he said after the game. And I'm like, what goes on during the game when you're noticing the effort being trash, or you're noticing that their team wants it a lot more than your team, Doc? What happens in that moment? Do you just go, all right, you guys don't want to play tonight? I guess tonight's an off night. Tonight's a scheduled off night loss. I guess that would be the next step of Doc's famous it's a scheduled loss type of thing. Yeah, I guess there's no turning that around, I guess, if you're Doc Rivers. I guess some coaches know what button to push, but Doc does not appear to know what button to push. Sixers fell hard last night. Joel Embiid, look, if you're looking for consolation prizes, Joel Embiid had another 30-point performance, another 10-rebound performance. La-di-da. James Harden, 24 points, 15 rebounds. But to me, the story of the game was 24-12 run. 34-12 run. That is something you cannot do in the NBA and expect to win many ball games, especially if you're doing that mostly through the fourth quarter. PJ Tucker, 0 points last night in 21 minutes played. I guess we're still relying on defensive capabilities, but not really seeing it. Still not seeing it for PJ. Gonna need more from that starter spot. Gonna need more from that. Montrezl Harrell last night, who's been playing some pretty good basketball, 7 minutes. I felt like he could have used a little bit more of him, a little bit more of that spark off the bench. Doc Rivers, not so much, unfortunately. But Sixers overall lost the game 133-114 last night, and it was just abysmal performance. Let's get to Jalen Hurts, because I know a lot of people are concerned about this, and I'm concerned about this. Oh, by the way, yes, I said jam-packed show today. We have Eric Manuel Erock joining us for the fans' perspective, who you want to face next in the playoffs here. We've been talking about it all week. And from your Philadelphia Wings, and yes, he takes part in the Farzy 5, Blaze Riorden joins the show today, ladies and gentlemen. Excited to talk to Blaze. I'll be the PA announcer for the Philadelphia Wings this year. So, hey, if you haven't made it to a Wings game ever in your life, this would be a good year to start going to Wings games. I'm going to tell you that right out of the gate. You get your tickets at wingslax.com. That's wingslax.com. So Blaze does a quick hit with us at the end of the show and gets us ready for a game tonight against Panther City. What kind of even a name is that? Anyway, Jalen Hurts was addressing the media yesterday, and as this has gone on, I think you guys have picked up on this, I have gotten more concerned about Jalen Hurts. I've gotten more concerned about this injury. And Jalen Hurts apparently wasn't throwing at practice yesterday. And to follow the bouncing ball, this has been a lot more serious than originally anticipated. And the fact that right now, Jalen Hurts does not feel great, the fact that he's going to try to be as close to 100%, the fact that you're not going to have Jalen Hurts at 100%, it seems like, in a week, even with this week off, that is worrisome. Because if anything, I think you know that Saints game certainly proved that Jalen Hurts is the on switch to this great system. As I said after the Micah Parsons comments from a couple of weeks ago now. And I also think it's fair to say that even what you saw against the Giants to round out the regular season was not Jalen Hurts at anything close to 100%, which means this Eagles system that is so damn good with him as the on switch wasn't able to kick it into high gear. Hence, you never got that big knockout punch by the Philadelphia Eagles against the New York Giants, a team you could still face in the divisional round of the playoffs. So yes, that is concerning. Yes, that is worrisome. Jalen Hurts addressing the media yesterday. The sound, by the way, for the people on the podcast that won't see the tweet that I'm playing, there was something wrong with the Eagles' the website yesterday. Something wrong with their video, and it was just frozen all the time. I checked it on multiple my tablet, my computer, my phone, and it was all mumble. It was all just bad. So I had to go to Twitter. And fortunately, Elliott Shore Parks has some audio. And here's Jalen Hurts on his status when he led his media session yesterday in his locker.
It's a day-by-day thing, just taking it day by day. I think the whole world knows that I'm dealing with something. I've been dealing with something. I think the whole point of that game was coming back and getting done what we need to get done, and obviously having this time to rest. So here it is.
Okay, good. Get your rest. That's fine. That's great. I'm happy that you're getting your rest in, and he's glad, thank God, there's a bye week. What? Thank God. Okay. With athletes and injuries, I always think about it like it's a meter, okay? And you want the full bar across the meter, like for 100% healthy. And right now, I would just say Jalen Hurts, right now at this given time, man, watching him play during that game against the Giants, I was like, what is 75%? We have like 75, 80% of Jalen Hurts in that game. Now I'm thinking we had more like 52%. Like that's what I think we had with Jalen Hurts. He was more on the side of healthy than he was on the side of injured. Hence he played. Hence he's got that dog mentality. Hence it's hard to keep him on the football field and all that. That's where I thought he was. I thought he was at 75, 80% watching him. Now listening to more stuff come out throughout the week, now listening to him yesterday, what I have landed on is he was at 52%. Maybe now he's at 60, 65, and then hopefully by next week you get him to 80. That's what I'll cross my fingers for. He was asked for a percentage by Reuben Frank. This is still courtesy of Elliott Shore Parks. And here he is on how close he is to getting back out there at the level that we know him at.
Whenever you play.
It's not Sunday, so I don't know.
I mean, how close to the Jalen Hurts we're used to seeing do you feel like you'll be?
I can't give you a number. I think, that name is that name. The man to be there.
Okay. The name is the name. How close to Jalen Hurts that we know? The name is the name. Jalen Hurts will be out there. Okay, cool. He's not going to miss the game. Okay, cool. We're not going to get an announcement like Lamar Jackson put out there yesterday. He's like, look, I'm messed up, man. I'm not playing. We're not getting that from Jalen Hurts. Cool. Thanks for pushing that ultimate worry out of my mind, I guess. But the man will be there. All right, so we know he's playing. That's great. We know he's a gamer. Okay, that's great. Won't answer about how close to 100%. Not Sunday. He doesn't know. Okay, fine. I'm like I was waiting, like we were waiting for the knockout punch against the Giants, the one that makes us feel all warm and fuzzy, like the Eagles aren't going to lose. There's no way they're going to lose this game. They got this. I'm waiting for that moment where Jalen Hurts is like, I feel good. You get practice. You get the video of him at practice, and he's slinging it, throwing the deep ball and throwing bullets across the middle and all that stuff. That's the warm and fuzzy I need from Jalen Hurts. Or yeah, I feel great. I need that. Hopefully we get that next week, because we're sure as hell ain't getting it this week. The man will be there. Just not what percentage of the MVP version of the man will be out there. That's unsure at this time. Cool. Last thing on Jalen Hurts before I start to get into the wild card round of the playoffs here. Jalen Hurts, this is courtesy NBC Sports Philadelphia. We talked about it earlier in the week about Jalen Hurts going to the NovaCare complex on Monday. Eagles were supposed to have a day off, but he's like, nah, we're going to get in a film sesh, coach. So he calls up his buddy Nick Sirianni. He probably texts. Nobody calls anymore. Hits up Nick Sirianni. He goes, hey, Nick, let's watch some film at the NovaCare complex. And Nick's like, hell yeah, man. We're going to go. We're going to watch film. So they watch film together. I never really think about this because, as I've told you guys before, you do have to remind yourself. That these guys are human beings. They're not just these little characters that play in your brain and do what you want them to do as far as coaching your football team or playing for your football team, okay? Nick Sirianni, family man. Nick Sirianni's got kids. Nick Sirianni's got a wife. Monday's a day off. Apparently no days off. Jalen Hurts apparently caused a little bit of I won't say a wave, a little ripple in the Sirianni household by asking the head coach to come in on his day off. Here's Jalen Hurts, courtesy NBC Sports Philly.
Nick said that he tried to give everybody the day off on Monday, but you wanted to come in and watch film anyway. Yeah. Why was that important to you?
I think Miss Sirianni gave me a hard time about that one, and his kids. But I told her we had business to tend to. So again, we have an opportunity of a lifetime, and every year we get to do this. I was talking about. To the team, to the offense. I don't remember who it was, but, obviously this past week has been a very crazy week in the NFL and across the world, given the circumstances that happened on that Monday night game. And, there's so much we have to be thankful for and grateful for, and the opportunities that we have. Why not give it your all while you can? Because you never know when it could be done. So much to be thankful for. So I want to get a game everything I have.
That how first off, hilarious, Mrs. Sirianni, little pissed. Kids, little pissed. Jalen, really got to work with it. You got to really work on. Hey, man, I'm not going to take a moment for granted. On that note, I did fail to mention yesterday that Damar Hamlin did tweet out himself, and the Buffalo Bills tweeted out that he was released from Buffalo General, I believe is the proper name of the hospital, and he's home. He's home. I mentioned earlier in the week that we had kind of jumped the gun a little bit, interpreting things that a lot of people did as well, that when he got discharged from University of Cincinnati Medical Center, that meant he was going home. He was going home to Buffalo, but only to go to Buffalo General, not to go to his home. Now he is home. He has been discharged from Buffalo General. So that is phenomenal news. But to hear Jalen Hurts talk about the way that something like that impacted him, that he's not going to waste 1 ounce of his talent or 1 second of his career, that he is going to look back and no matter what happens in his career, look back and say, I maximized my time. That's I think, something not enough people think about. You could talk about it like cherishing moments, right? You could talk about that. Great life moments you might have, personal or professional. Look back on it and go, wow, that was incredible. But can you look back on it and say that I maximized my time? I maximized my opportunity. Jalen Hurts is looking back on his time already and going, am I maximizing my time? Am I maximizing my opportunity? Because this is his opportunity. And here's the thing that sucks about it. And this is the harsh reality of it. But again, the reality. This has been an incredible year for Jalen Hurts. You guys have heard me say that Jalen Hurts would be harder for him to put a bigger exclamation point on the season that he's had and what it means to his career than the exclamation point he had on, is he the guy? Question mark. Yes! Exclamation point. It'd be harder. He'd have to win the MVP. He'd have to win the Super Bowl. That's hard. But I think he has certainly answered those questions. But if he goes into the playoffs and he lays an egg in the playoffs on the biggest stage, the biggest stage, well, then every Jalen Hurts hater that was really quiet over the last 6 months is going to get really loud and obnoxious and annoying. But you know what they won't be? Necessarily wrong. Because all we care about is the playoffs. Yeah, you could have mediocre regular season. You could be a wild card team. You roll through the playoffs and win when it matters most. Oh, man. That's when people start putting you on a different pedestal. That's when people really start praising you. But if Jalen Hurts is able to put together this great regular season, combined with a deep playoff run, at least get a win under your belt, at least tie Dak Prescott for career playoff wins, that's not a goal, but at least it's a feather in the cap, then I think we'll be good. But I'm expecting this team to make it to the Super Bowl. I'm expecting this team to beat any of the opponents that they're going to be facing coming up in a week from Saturday or Sunday. So that brings me to this. I was looking at a couple of different things. I still, for the storyline, would like to face the Cowboys. The Cowboys don't scare me none. The Giants are still a team that I don't know. I feel like they're the team the Eagles are supposed to beat, and we know the Giants. We feel like there's no way the Eagles could lose to the Giants. It is difficult in the NFL to beat a team twice in the regular season and then to beat them in the playoffs. That's tough to do 3 times in 1 year. I heard Ray Didinger talking about that the other day. Ray's going to be back on the air, which is cool. It is concerning to try to do that with the Giants. The Giants are a team I think we all look at and go, we know them, we know we're better than them, fine. The Seahawks can come to town not knowing them, and you could lose to the Seahawks. I don't see it happening, but it could happen. The one thing the Seahawks have going in their favor, and this is what we're going to break down: Tampa, Dallas, the Giants, of course, and the Seahawks. Looking at the Seahawks right now, they're a top 9 offense in points per game. They're a top 13 offense in yards per game. So 9th in points, 13th in yards. Defensively speaking, this is not your slightly older siblings version of the Seattle Seahawks, okay? All right, I'm not going to say your granddaddies. I'm not going to say your daddies. This is your slightly older siblings. This is not your slightly older siblings version of the Seattle Seahawks. They are 26th in defensive yards allowed. They are 25th in points allowed per game. That's not scary. So how are they a playoff team? Geno Smith has certainly stepped up when he's had to step up. I've mentioned many times throughout the year. He's 5th in the NFL right now in passer rating, 5th in the regular season in passer rating. Not too shabby for Geno Smith. Then you know what else they do pretty damn well? They take the football away. The Cowboys, of course, the number 1 team in the NFL, are taking the football away. 33 takeaways on the season. Not too off the Seattle Seahawks, who have 25 takeaways. That's the 4th highest total in the NFL. What really matters when it comes to wins and losses? The turnover battle. And they certainly take the football away. That's one concerning thing. The fact that you don't know them. The fact that they've had so much success in Philadelphia and against the Eagles over the last forever. And then on top of all that, they take the football away. And their offense can score points. Their offense can certainly score points. The thing that definitely, aside from the fact that they allow a lot of points, the thing that also counters their passing attack, what they can do with Geno Smith, is that he's going to be throwing into the best secondary in the NFL and a healthy Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back there. So that that makes me feel like you're still going to beat the Seahawks. Now, I want to make this clear. I think the Eagles beat every team that they could face next week. Let me just get that out of the way. I'm just trying to highlight every part that could give you a little bit of I didn't realize that. All right. So that's where the Seahawks are at right now. The Giants have 19 takeaways, just for perspective. Tampa Bay has 20. Once again, Seahawks have 25. Dallas has 33 to lead the NFL. The Seahawks also, this is another great matchup for the Eagles here. The Seahawks have the worst run defense of any playoff team. They're the third worst in the NFL this season. So, Miles Sanders, you licking your chops at the idea of playing the Seahawks? Okay, it could happen. Jalen Hurts looking to be healthy and get out of bounds, run and get a couple of yards. You can do that against the Seahawks. Seahawks allow 150 yards per game throughout the regular season on the ground. And that's pretty terrible. So that's what we're looking at right there with the Seattle Seahawks. Giants run defense, by the way, is just as terrible. So go figure. Go figure. Now let's look at Tampa. Tampa, the obvious thing here is looking at Tom Brady. Tampa's not that good a team. Tampa's sub 500, as I pointed out. They're a sub 500 division winner that are hosting a playoff game against the Giants. Do you want that Tom Brady smoke? That's the obvious thing you talk about when you talk about Tampa Bay. Do you want Tom Brady coming into Philadelphia? Do you want Tom Brady in the playoffs? I would like to avoid it, but just like the Cowboys, there's that hot and spicy storyline. With the Cowboys, you're looking at a situation where you're facing America's team, so everyone gives a damn about your game. The other part of it, you're facing the division rival. You're facing them where you only saw their starting quarterback once. They only saw your starting quarterback once. But still, regardless, both teams know each other. Dallas's defense has been on the decline in recent weeks. Dak Prescott has had his issues, of course, in turnovers. So there's a lot of storylines. There's a lot of good things, X's and O's wise, that you look at with the Cowboys, and you go, yeah, I think they're going to get that team. But when you look at Tampa, it all comes down to Tom Brady and whether or not Tom Brady's willing to lose or able to lose in the postseason. He lost last year in the postseason. We all know that. But he beat your squad. Right next to that storyline, like I was saying with the Dallas Cowboys and that storyline of dreaded America's team and your division rival and all that, right after that is beating Tom Brady. That's still sexy. And beating Todd Bowles' defense that, yes, of course, as I mentioned throughout the week, Jalen Hurts apparently could not read the defense of. Okay. I would love for Jalen Hurts to rewrite that record, or not record book, but rewrite that storybook and read that defense real well to the tune of 35-plus points. Love to see it. Tampa Bay, if they do come to town, again, 8-9 on the season. Offensive numbers, even with Tommy, not so terrific this season. 15, they're middle of the road when it comes to offensive yards, 15th, and they're 25th in points per game. Ooh, baby. That's terrible. Defensively speaking, top 9 in yards, top 13 in points. Dallas, I've broken down for you pretty much already. 4th in offensive points per game, 5th in defensive points per game. So they come in riding a pretty nice high for the season there at 12-5. But really what sticks out to me above all else, and you could look at these numbers all you want, and they're so true, and this is what I would have to dine on if you're really going to be confident about the Eagles winning this game, and this is the fact that Dak Prescott is a turnover machine. Don't know what the hell he's been seeing since he came back, but it ain't good. Well, at least not for the Cowboys. It's good for everybody else. It's good for Tampa this week. It's going to be good for the Eagles next week if it actually comes to that. But 7 straight games with an interception. What? 3 pick sixes since week 16 or week 15? That's terrible. But on the other hand, that Dallas defense can overcome because they got 33 takeaways. So that is something that balances out those. And even down the stretch with Dak playing as poorly as he has with turnovers, they're 6-2 to end the season. So tough loss to Jacksonville. Ugly loss to Washington. With their defense, they can counter Dak's atrocious decision-making offensively. So that's what you got right there. And then the Giants, as I've mentioned, there's nothing that jumps out to you about the Giants that makes you go, oh, wow, this seems great. But I feel like because we know them so well, we can overlook them. And I say that as a fan base. That's why I say we. The Eagles could fall under the same type of victim. Now, here's the thing. I still believe they could beat every team that I've just mentioned. But when it comes to facing the Giants again, it is difficult, once again, to beat the same team 3 times in a season. The other thing is that if there is one team that you could overlook, I think it is this Giants team. The Seahawks are a team that you don't know much about, so I think you would pay extra close attention. Dallas, you're going to get up for more than anything. Playing Tom Brady, you're going to get up for more than anything. Playing the Giants, I think we got this. I think they're bringing over their might. If I'm playing devil's advocate, for sure, so they're going to lose to the Giants. No. If you're playing devil's advocate, it's a team that, well, we know them so well, we can take it for granted. Just saying is all. Just saying. So we'll see where we're at after this weekend. Your official schedule, things get underway tomorrow, 4:30. That's Saturday, 4:30 in San Francisco. Well, excuse me, actually Santa Clara. San Francisco 49ers hosting the Seahawks at 4:30. Then Sunday, the next game you care about in the NFC. Sunday, the Giants play at Minnesota at 4:30. And then Monday night, Dallas plays at Tampa 8:15. It's bonkers for me. Is that Monday? That's Monday the 16th. Yeah, that's Monday the 16th. I got to get the cable set up in the new house. I got to get internet set up in the new house. Folks, as I've tried to keep you updated, I am moving on Tuesday. So, like, when I do these interviews, like with Erock that you're about to see, who we have on yesterday. We had Thomas on yesterday. Everyone's kind. Everyone's really nice. Like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm terrible. Right now. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everything's great, except I'm moving. And everyone, oh my God, are you okay? Are you going to be all right? I'm like, I'm pulling through. Oh, I'm pulling through. Got so many Home Depot boxes around the house. It's ridiculous. So yeah, man, we're in it. Somebody said, I forget who it was in the chat the other day. I referenced dimes yesterday when I was talking to Thomas R. Peterson. I said, dropping dimes or whatever it was. They're like, hey, he's from Denmark. He doesn't know what dimes are. And it's funny because I did explain to him. I was like, yeah, man, I am in it right now. And he's like, looking at me like, what? Because for those that don't understand, just because you're a fellow English speaker, some people don't understand this. So I'm going to try not to mansplain it, but just because you both speak the same language doesn't mean you both speak the same language. All right. So like we have our own expressions here in America, and they have their own expressions over there in Denmarkia. So I was like, I'm in it. And he's like, huh? And I'm like, so scramble, try to explain. Basically, all you have to understand is my life sucks right now. Moving is fun. Moving is fun. Let me tell you about Steven Singer. Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row. Ladies and gentlemen, for your big jewelry purchases, for that special someone in your life, check out Steven Singer at the other corner of 8th and Walnut. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price, the perfect price. Online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump in the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. And I want to get, so you heard me. I got to say, my number one is Dallas. I think that'd be great. Most likely to win. I think they're most likely to beat the Seahawks. So we'll get Erock's take on it because I wanted to hear from a fan about what team you want the smoke of when it comes to the wild card round, after the wild card round, of the divisional round of the playoffs. Without further ado, Eric Emanuel Erock joins us on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. Once again, on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line, our friend, you know him as Erock, I know him as Eric Emanuel. What's going on there, Erock? How you doing, brother?
Mark Farzetta, how are you? Thank you so much for having me on the show. And boy, isn't this a stark contrast from when you and I were talking in the beginning of the season of what's the Eagles' record going to be, and is Jalen Hurts the guy, and what does he have to prove? Here we are, the number one seed in the NFC, getting ready to make another Super Bowl run after 2017. I can't believe it's happening again.
Well, I feel like you just answered all the questions I was going to ask you in that one shot right there. So, I mean, it's been fun catching up, brother. No, yeah, right. No, but you know what? I had you on because I want to know, is Jalen Hurts the guy?
I think he proved it after about 3 or 4 weeks and silenced all the doubters. Listen, real talk. I mean, I had my reservations about the guy. I wanted to believe, but I didn't know how much I wanted to put my heart into it. I've been burnt by Carson Wentz. I've been burnt by Donovan McNabb. I've been burnt by so many quarterbacks that I just put my blind faith behind that I had my reservations. Not only did he exceed expectation, he exceeded the ceiling of what I thought he could be and proved beyond a shadow of a doubt. Nobody's got anything less to say. Chris Sims, go shove it. He is without a doubt a top 10, top 5 quarterback, and he's proven it. He's a franchise quarterback, and it will be moving forward.
I couldn't have said it better myself, my friend. Couldn't have said it better. Now, as far as that franchise quarterback, as far as him absolutely being the guy, how concerned are you with this injury? Because I got to tell you, right out of the gate, I didn't really think it was that big a deal. And then he missed a couple games. He threw a little bit, missed the game, came back. Everyone talked about how hurt he was. Nick Sirianni said he was in a lot of pain. I'm starting to think this was a lot more serious than I originally anticipated.
As do I, and it's not necessarily because of Jalen Hurts' performance against the Giants, right? Because
right, sure.
I feel like the team had a different swag. He was completing balls. He threw some deep balls. So you felt good about where he was physically on the field. It was just kind of the way that Nick Sirianni was talking about it and the way Jalen Hurts was talking about it after the game. And even today in the locker room where he goes, thank God there's a bye week. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Nick Sirianni after in the post-game press conference going, yeah, Jalen's really hurting. You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to feed me nonsense. You're supposed to lie to me. Tell me he's just resting up or he's just shaking off rust. The more they dig into like, oh, yeah, he's hurting, the more I'm like, oh, well, if he was even slightly hurting, you'd lie to me, you know?
I was waiting for the lie too. I was waiting for it's not that bad. Or of course he's got to get himself back into game shape. I was waiting for that. Yeah. I was waiting for that. I wasn't. Oh man, he's so sore. Oh, let me tell you how sore he is. I've made this point to a couple of different people, and I want to know if you thought the same thing. Do you remember when the injury had just happened, and Nick Sirianni, I think, did his Wednesday press conference, and he was talking about a conversation he had with his brother, where his brother was like, he played through what? He played through that? He threw like that with that injury, and he basically did this, homage to his brother about how impressed his brother was. And I'm like, his brother seems to know the severity of this injury that we don't. Guys are chuckling about it in the locker room, like it's not that serious. Jalen's a gamer. Jalen will be fine. It's not a big deal. But we're almost a month. It's a little worrisome.
Totally side note and sidebar conversation. When are we going to meet this notorious other Sirianni brother that he keeps speaking so highly of? I mean, all he does is tell stories about the guy, and we got to meet him. Maybe he should be the coach sometime. Like, who knows? He loves him so much. But listen, Jalen showed not only after the injury against the Bears, but I think during the Giants game, like he can tough through it, and he's got that mentality. The word soft and Jalen Hurts will never be associated with each other forever. Mentally soft, physically soft, it's never going to happen. So he's going to gut through it. He's going to endure the pain, and I think he can play through it because he's shown us that. Even after the injury happened, and then a couple weeks later, he's shown us that he can play through it. So I think he's going to be fine. He's going to lay it all out in the playoffs. I don't worry about Jalen Hurts' health.
You can't do this to me, Erock, because you know what a scatterbrain I am. Now you've got me thinking, like, what if we did find out Nick Sirianni was an only child? Like what if we found out? Like, remember when we found out Chip Kelly was married before, and it was and it was news because somebody looked up like the New Hampshire whatever it was, whatever college he was at, and they were like, "Oh, he was married before. It says right here he was married." And he was like, "Yeah, guys, I was married." Like, no one ever asked me if I was married before. What if we find out? Like Nick Sirianni was like, "You guys got me. I never played D3 college ball."
That would be a total plot twist. And like, I see dead people. Or here's another conspiracy theory. What if Nick Sirianni's brother is his twin? It's an identical twin.
Oh my God.
And it's actually the same guy on the field. You just don't know it.
I have a theory. He's totally different on Monday press conferences versus Wednesday press conferences and Friday press conferences. I don't even know who he is anymore. I don't even know who he is.
That is true, because one looks like the regular Nick, right? And then during press conferences, one looks like the Nick that got into the Scooby snacks late at night. And so that could be two different people. We could be seeing two different people. Who knows?
He's talking about making Frito taco soup, whatever the hell that is. Totally different guy. Anyway,
I got some questions about it.
We got some. You and I sit Nick down. And we're like, all right, now you hold on a second. All right. Who's the real Nick Sirianni? Anyway, be like a Scooby Doo episode. Anyway, so football.
Yes.
All right, so this is the reason I wanted to have you on, because I find you to be such a wonderful representation of the fan base, lifelong fan, of course, that you are, traveling with the fans, doing all the great stuff that you do. When it comes to the teams the Eagles could face in the next round, I'm going to give you a two-part question here, all right? But let's address the first part of this first.
Mm-hmm.
Who do they have the best chance of beating? Like, of all the teams out there, if you want a cakewalk, easy game, divisional round to cakewalk into the conference championship game, who's the team they're blowing out of the water in that divisional round?
I think it's either going to be Seattle or the New York Giants. And I know that a lot of people say it's tough to beat a team 3 times in a season, but I take a look at the New York Giants and I see a lot of potential there. I love their coaching staff. As much as it is blasphemy to say that out loud as an Eagles fan, I absolutely love their coaching staff. Then I feel like the New York Giants are kind of the Philadelphia Eagles of last year, where it's, kind of a new coach and the new quarterback, not a new quarterback, but the quarterback's new to that system. And they don't really belong there. All right. They're good. They're on the uptick. It's clear to see their trajectory is going upwards, but they really don't belong there yet. So I would say it's either Seattle, who I think the Eagles match up well against, or once again, those New York Football Giants.
Okay, so those are the two teams. And I would agree with you with Seattle. Seattle's run defense isn't there. Their points per game is not really there. I mean, you could, and they're not the defensive team of old, of course, from years past. Plus, Geno Smith, and I give him all the credit in the world, taking on this defense and that secondary, the best in the NFL. I don't think that's a good matchup for Geno Smith, so I agree. It's a great matchup in favor of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Exactly.
Now, the best storyline, I know the slam dunk here is the Cowboys for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But the other storyline that's attached to this as well is the fact that you'd be able to not only beat Tom Brady, which is always sexy, but you'd also be able to beat Todd Bowles in that defense that said Jalen Hurts can't read a defense. So the easiest slam dunk, you're looking at the Giants, you're looking at the Seahawks. Best storyline, do you go with the Buccaneers or do you go with the Cowboys?
No, because I feel like the Tom Brady thing is cemented in Philadelphia Eagles lore. Like we got nothing to prove against Tom Brady anymore. We've done it. We beat him in his prime. He's no longer in his prime. We beat him in his prime with a backup quarterback. And heaven forbid the Eagles were to lose that game. Would that then, losing to Brady now, after the best regular season, arguably, that Philadelphia Eagles have ever had in franchise history, does that then tarnish what they did in 2017 in that Super Bowl? Does it? So I want to back off of that storyline and go, listen, we need to clean sweep the NFC East. Like if you bring the Giants back, divisional round, smack them down, and then the NFC Championship game, because this team. Again, I think it's the best regular season in franchise history, but you can take things out of 2017. It looks familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure.
People getting injured late, and potential MVP quarterback, the touchdown celebrations, instead of dog masks, Batman thing now. So there's similarities. But let's bring it back to the 80s, man. Let's bring it back to when you and I were pups and have the NFC Championship game in Philadelphia against the Cowboys. The ghost of Wilbur Montgomery going long instead of 31. It's Sanders or Boston Scott, or maybe it's even Jalen himself taking it to the house. Like let's relive a little bit of magic. Let's do it.
I'm all for it, man. I think it is a slam dunk. When you talk about storylines, the NFL would love that. The networks would love that. Cowboys, Eagles for the Super Bowl trip. I think they'd fall head over heels in love with that. Last thing I want to ask you about here. Jalen Hurts, I think, has taken away everyone's major headline from the season. What's second in command here? What is the second best storyline from this incredible 2022, 2023 now Philadelphia Eagles team? What's the second best storyline behind Jalen Hurts?
Well, you can go with the sacks and what the defense has been doing. You can go with how good the offensive line. You can go with this or that or that. But I think the second greatest storyline is a storyline that nobody's talking about.
Ooh, okay, hold on. You might be.
Go
ahead.
This is just the start. Did you see how much? Did you see how much cap room we have next year?
There's a lot of cap room, but there's also a lot of signings they got to do.
Fair. We still have 2 first-round picks. We still have a lot of flexibility. All of a sudden, like, it is no coincidence that the trade for A.J. Brown, sign, FaceTime, Jalen Hurts, that's his buddy. Philadelphia, you heard CJ, right? CJ talking about how much better it is in Philadelphia than it was in New Orleans. Philadelphia is going to become a football destination spot, a la the Los Angeles Rams last year, where people just wanted to play here. You had guys like, Von Miller, I'm in. Odell, I'm in. Everybody, I'm in. And it becomes a destination. People are going to want to play with the next big thing, and that's Jalen Hurts. People are going to want to be involved in this offense. People are going to get in on this defense. It's going to be a party. This is just whatever happens from this conversation forward, no matter what happens, this is just the beginning. Oof. And this was the best regular season in Philadelphia Eagles history.
Oh, it just sounds so lovely. I'm buying. I mean, Can
I sell you? I sold you.
I'll take 10,000 units. All right. I thought you were going to go more specific. I thought you were just going to say Howie Roseman. That's the direction I thought you were going, because I mean, there's been a lot of Howie hate in recent years here in Philadelphia, and people will still bring up Justin Jefferson and Jalen Reagor, and I get it. Sure. But holy pots and pans, when you look at what happened in 2017 and the depth of that team, and then you look at what happened last year with being able to have 3 first-round picks, cash them in for A.J. Brown and Jordan Davis, then this year you still have a top 10 pick. You'll still have your own pick, and you're the number 1 seed in the NFC? What? That's sorcery.
That is a monster storyline, especially coming off of a couple years where we were absolutely at the guy's throat. And he is my idol. He is my hero. Not for what he's done. Just for the simple fact, like Elliott Shore Parks tweeted out the statue of Doug. And
I saw that.
And he said, like who would be the next statue? And my suggestion was, I'm trying to get this right, Howie Roseman pointing up in the stands. And I long for the day. It is the pure American dream that you can go up to your own customers, your own clientele, the people that buy your product, and say F you, and they love you for it. That is just, the man is my hero.
That is an ultimate Philly goal. That's where you can say that to anyone. It's just like, no, I still love him. There you go. Erock, great catching up with you as always, my friend. I appreciate you coming on. Hopefully we'll be talking about this maybe during another bye week, maybe before the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl. Hey, buddy, thanks so much for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Absolutely, really great catching up. Erock Emanuel, Erock, ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Erock joining us right there on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. Erock Emanuel, always great catching up with him. Just 2 guys that really like each other, listening to each other talk. That's it. That's what you got right there. But no, I just feel like he always has a great pulse for the fans here in Philadelphia, and he is such a great fan himself. So great catching up with him as per usual. Let me tell you right now about the people at Manscaped, manscaped.com. Go to manscaped.com. Use promo code Farzy for 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code Farzy at manscaped.com. You'll enjoy their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, their Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, and they both come with skin-safe technology that helps you to reduce the risk of nicks so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. So check out manscaped.com, use promo code Farzy, and get 20% off and free shipping. How about Freestone Farm CBD? FreestoneFarmCBD.com. If you like CBD, if you use CBD, if you want to try a different CBD, try Freestone Farm CBD, where you can get 20% off with promo code Farzy. You'll love their insane tropical tasting Bayox that clocks in at a chart topping 24.1%. And Super CBD, which is half Hindu, checks notes, Kush, and 21%. Genetics of these guys are off the charts. So check out Freestone Farm CBD, FreestoneFarmCBD.com for more information. How about PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. It's phlsportsnation.com. Before we get to Mr. Blaze Riorden, let's get to the chat check, see how you wonderful people are doing today. I'll start from the bottom and go to the top here. Howie Roseman statue would be epic. That's a great idea. Who said the Howie Roseman thing? All right, maybe I do have to go. Maybe I do have to go in order here. Kevin, good morning. Sean, good morning. PJ saying hello to everybody. Let everybody know he's okay. Closer to 100%, PJ. You or Jalen Hurts? Closer to 100%. You or Jalen Hurts? Closer to 100%. You or Jalen Hurts? Definitely Jalen Hurts? You're okay. Definitely Jalen Hurts. All right, just making sure. All right, so here's my piping hot take. The whole thing about Wyatt Earp being better than Tombstone. Sean Gillespie, that boring Wyatt Earp movie was a documentary. Tombstone was an action-packed, exciting movie, damn it. Maybe that's why I didn't like it. See, I'm a history nerd. Okay, I'm a history nerd. I liked Wyatt Earp for that reason, and I thought Tombstone was a Tombstone, I was waiting for Steven Seagal to appear. That's how much of a cheesy Western action movie it was. I was waiting for Steven Seagal and his ponytail to come out and, knife fight Doc Holliday. Now, I will say this. The more entertaining character of Doc Holliday portrayed by Val Kilmer was better than Dennis Quaid. I will say that. I will concede the point there. No argument. I'm your Huckleberry. That is a great line. That is a line that often gets repeated in my circle of friends. That's a great line. But movie-wise, Wyatt Earp was a better movie. If I wanted a Steven Seagal movie, if I wanted I'm labeling it a Steven Seagal movie. It's not even in it. But I'm just talking about like the corniness of the action. I'd watch Under Siege 2. Yeah. Not even the original Under Siege. Yeah, that's right. No Tommy Lee Jones in this picture. I digress. Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer, Kevin Costner, Dennis Quaid, no contest. Well, Kevin Costner greater than Kurt Russell, no contest there. Val Kilmer over Dennis Quaid? Yes, I would agree with that. Sean Gillespie, by the way, I'm arguing with Sean here. Ooh, yeah, RJ, I don't know, but we'll get to that. Sean Gillespie, I just hope the Eagles coaches learn from their few but major mistakes and not running the ball with your running back. Thank you, Sean. We agree. RJ, all right. Love the Eagles playing smoke and mirrors. Nick's competitive advantage goes to an all-time high. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. What hype am I not believing? I thought you were going somewhere else with that, John. Oh, Jalen is fine. That's why. Okay, yeah. RJ saying Jalen is fine. I don't think Jalen is fine. I think he'll be close to fine. I think whenever the Eagles season ends, which is hopefully, a week after the Super Bowl, there's some announcement. This is what I think is going to happen, that Jalen's, they'll really reveal the severity of Jalen's injury. But if they're really playing the smoke and mirrors game, then they are the greatest at playing the smoke and mirrors game in the history of humanity, because it's Jalen talking to the TV guys in the little interview they have before the game, like they did against the Giants, before the Giants game. It's the Nick Sirianni brother thing that I have rolled out there earlier in the week many times. It's Jalen just telling you how Jalen not playing should really be all you need to know. Missing 2 games and having to play the final game of the season, the whole game, that's the greatest version of smoke and mirrors I've ever seen. If it is smoke and mirrors. Sean Gillespie, my love for Jalen just grows. That's nice. RJ, it's literally all mind games. Jalen is, and air quotes here, hurt. Jalen is hurt, but at the same time, he's not trying to take no time off. Something not adding up. Sounds like smoke and mirrors. I hope you're right. Dan Schwartz, what's going on? What's going on, man? Nice to see you. Finer! Did I make taco soup? I did not make taco soup. What's up, buddy? Happy birthday, by the way, Tom Finer. Bronco country, let's ride. Sean, Dan Schwartz, my wild card winners are Buffalo, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Tampa, Minnesota, and the upset of all upsets, Seattle. Eat that, Russell Wilson. Ha, Russell Wilson just annoys me. Russell Wilson's not even with Seattle. That'd be great to see Seattle beat the 49ers. Sports Fanatic News. What's up, Sports Fanatic News? April! I mean, to be fair, the expressions are different considering what part of the U.S. you're in, too. Very true, April. That's very, absolutely. Sports Fanatic News. How about Urson, Mark? Mad impressive. Hurts for MVP. I see no lies, Sports Fanatic News. I concur. How about Urson? I have sung the praises of Urson and made the corny dad joke of everybody in the crease getting shut out. 2:30. I'll show myself out. Thank you. He's got a 4-0. 5 games he's played in. 4-0. 230 goals against average. He's already got a shutout under his belt. Sam Urson, 23-year-old Swede, stoning people. I'm impressed. Color me impressed. Sports Fanatic Hurts MVP. Yeah, I agree. Mihai, what's up, Mihai? Morning, Mark. Everyone, fam. Everyone's great. Eagles bye week. Now, how about the Phillies dodging? Oh, having to play Carlos Correa. Yeah. The Mets meted. I didn't see the Carlos Correa press conference, but I imagine it was something along the lines of, I never wanted to leave Minnesota. Yeah, until they threw, what was it originally? Was it 315 million? Whatever the hell it was. 315 to 300. Yeah, here, I got it right here. 350. Jeez, was I well? Okay, yeah, okay. So December 13th, 13 years, 350 million. That was by the Giants. December 21st, 12-year, $315 million deal with the Mets. This past Tuesday, 6 years, $200 million stay with the Twins. I never wanted to leave Minnesota. I like Minnesota. All right. I imagine that's how it went. Sean, I see dead people. What? Howie Roseman statue would be epic. Yes, Sean, it would. Eric, your guest mentioned the Howie statue. Yes, that's true. PJ playing hurt, still killing it. April, you're damn right. Dayquil for the win. Ooh, Dayquil. Yes, Dayquil. NyQuil, and not so much. Dayquil, that's a home run hitter for me. Sean Gillespie, I'm a history nerd also, but damn. Wyatt Earp put me to sleep. I will admit it's a slow-moving movie. But you know what? One thing that's underrated about Wyatt Earp is Gene Hackman. Nothing counts so much as blood. You all remember that. Thank you, Sean. Above the Law was Seagal's only good movie. Nonsense and poppycock. Here's Steven Seagal movies as I rank them. Okay, here you go. Number 1, Under Siege. Loved Under Siege. Number 2, Above the Law. Number 3, I'm going to go Out for Justice, which some may argue is the same movie. Some may argue as the same movie that is Above the Law. Yeah, Out for Justice might be the same movie. Who knows? Worst Steven Seagal movie, and I'm not counting DMX movies. I'm going to go with On Deadly Ground. Michael Caine as a Alaskan pipeline oil guy. I just didn't sell it for me. I'm going to get that Steven Seagal. I'm going to get him and date. That's a terrible Michael Caine. But yeah, okay, thank you. I'm glad we talked about Steven Seagal today. You can tell the Seagulls bye week. All right. Without further ado, I want to get to this special guest today because I'll be down there tomorrow night. for the Wings home opener against Panther City. Let's catch up real quick. We do a quick hit here with our friend Blaze Riorden of the Philadelphia Wings lacrosse team. And yes, he does take part in the Farzy 5. Also, an insane fun fact for you after this interview. Here's Blaze Riorden of your Philadelphia Wings. Now in the Rothman Orthopedics guest line from your Philadelphia Wings, who are back this Saturday night, baby, 7 o'clock against them Panther City. What is even Panther City? Blaze Riorden joins us. What's up there, Blaze?
How we doing, Mark?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, you just got back from Vegas. You had a nice little game for yourself there in Vegas, as did you and your teammates, taking care of business against that Vegas team, no?
Yep, 2-game winning streak and looking to keep it rolling.
All right, now, what is it like to play in front of the Philadelphia fan base here as a member of the Wings?
Yeah, it's very cliche to say we have the best fans in the league, but in a league that continues to grow, we're still exploring some markets, but Philadelphia has always been a staple, and they show out, and they represent us the way we want to be represented, and we're super grateful for that and excited to kick off another home start for us this weekend, Saturday at 7 p.m., as you mentioned, at the Wells Fargo, and, give them a show that wants to keep them coming back and keep them on our side all year long.
What can fans expect when they go to lacrosse games this year?
Yeah, first thing that sticks out to me is it's loud. It's one of the only sports that music plays throughout the entire game, even when the game's in action. It's a mix of a lot of sports. It's 5-on-5 like hockey. There's fighting like hockey. I know Philly sports fans love that. It's aggressive. It's fast paced. There's a lot of scoring, a lot of hitting, and it's a great family atmosphere as far as entertainment that goes on. We don't skip any corners when it comes to fan entertainment and fan interaction. And one thing in the past that fans have liked about Wings games is their ability to interact with us after games. We are a little more easy access than, say, some of the other professional sports teams in the city. So if you want an autograph, a picture, your chances of getting them are pretty good.
And why not get one with you, Blaze, who, of course, is leading the team in goals right now? What's been the key to your hot start?
I just think shooting the ball a little more. This is year 4, and being that I've been on the team for 4 years, there's really no excuse for me not to have confidence. And coach told me that at the beginning of the year that he expects more out of me. And, I figured it was now or never. And the best way to start doing that is putting the ball on net a little more. And I've done that. And it's resulted in some more goals, but more importantly, 2 wins in a row, as I mentioned.
Absolutely. You guys can get your tickets, of course, at wingslax.com. That's wingslax.com. I'll be down there. Thrilled to be the PA announcer for you guys one more time. So I get to say your name loudly into a microphone, which is...
That's right. I love hearing it.
I know I'll be saying it a lot this year, of course. Blaze, you're a first-time guest of the Farzy Show. So can I ask you if you'd so humbly do the Farzy 5? You want to play the Farzy 5?
I would love to.
All right, let me see if I can get the band going here. It's been a minute. They've been off for a while. Let's see if we can get them going. Guys? Just piping hot. Piping hot. All right, first question, Farzy 5. Best job before this job. Best job before you were a lacrosse player, Blaze. What was it?
My only other job other than being a professional lacrosse player was I was the helping hands guy at Wegmans. I got the carts in, so there's only one answer there, so...
I don't want to brag, Blaze, but I'm a 30-year member of the Cookie Club at Wegmans, okay? All right?
Can't beat them.
Can't beat them. Can't beat them.
Simple
all right.
yet effective.
Kept my mom coming back, baby. Kept my mom. Favorite city to travel to?
Favorite city to travel to right now would probably be Nashville, Tennessee. I like the country music, the weather, and the rooftop bar scene.
All right, just throw in a brisket, and I'm right there with you, my friend.
There we go.
All right, let me ask you this question here. First date deal breaker. First date deal breaker. What is it?
For me, probably I would like to see them be able to enjoy their food. I don't want them to be nervous about eating their dish in front of me. I'm in no way, shape, or form nervous, and I would just feel like that would kind of speak a lot about who they are. And when it's time to grub, it's time to grub.
Absolutely. Last one for you here. I'm sorry, 2 more. Go-to fast food place. Go-to fast food place.
Fast food. I mean, if you're counting Chipotle all day, and I will pay extra for the guac. No problem.
Excellent. And then finally, what makes you beep your horn in traffic?
What makes me beat my horn in traffic are when bikers don't follow the bike rules, and they don't realize the consequences of them being on a bike and us being in a vehicle. But I will say on live that I try not to beat my horn because I don't want to startle people. And I just, I'm practicing patience as I get older. And that's where I practice it the most every day in Philadelphia traffic. In my car.
You're a better man than I. I know you're on your way to the Sixers game Thursday night at the time we tape this, so have fun. And thanks for being on the Farzy Show. See you Saturday night.
I appreciate it. I can't wait to hear your voice. Let's go Wings.
Let's go Wings. My thanks to Blaze Riorden for joining the show once again, 7 o'clock tonight, or tomorrow night, 7 o'clock tonight. That's Saturday night at the Wells Fargo Center. So I'm really excited to get back on that microphone and yell loud things into a microphone to be all excited for the Philadelphia Wings. Let's get into the Morning Rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. It's worth noting today that last night was the first Nets game without Kevin Durant. He's expected to miss a month with his injury. Kyrie Irving, in a loss to the Celtics, scored 24 points. Celtics got their 31st win of the season, beating Brooklyn last night 109-98. And Ben Simmons. I don't even think the biggest Ben fan in Philadelphia would defend this line, this scoring line here, this box score with him, with he does other things. Okay, I don't even think they would defend it with that. Well, he does other things. Ben Simmons last night with no Kevin Durant. 26 minutes played. 0 for 3 from the floor, quote unquote. 13 assists, 9 rebounds, 0 points. 0 points. And as you would assume, all the points scored, all the shots attempted last night for Ben Simmons were from inside the paint and not one free throw attempt. So just so you have that knowledge for yourself. The Flyers are back on the ice tomorrow night. Look forward to that game. Flyers looking to stay hot, win maybe, 7 of 8, but they'll be taking on a very hungry Capitals team as they're going to be in D.C. tomorrow night, 7 o'clock puck drop. The 76ers are off tonight. They're going to be back in action with Joel Embiid and his new haircut tomorrow night as well. They're going to be traveling to Utah to take on the Jazz. Here's what I got for you. NFL wildcard round. As far as the NFC goes, Seattle and San Francisco, as I mentioned earlier, 4:30 kickoff on Saturday. That's tomorrow. I do have San Francisco winning that game. San Francisco will advance. I just think they're too hot and too damn good to lose the first round of the playoffs, that is. Then you got the Giants and the Vikings, 4:30 on Sunday. I do have Minnesota winning that game, so I don't see the Giants advancing in that game. Tampa and Dallas, I think Tampa wins that game. I think Brady wins at home. I think Dak chokes. And Mike McCarthy just might get himself fired, unfortunately. Well, yeah, because I like beating Mike McCarthy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is the Farzy Show presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Welcome back, PJ. Now get some rest. Have a great weekend, everybody. This is a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. Be back with you guys on Monday morning. Have a great day. See ya.